Welcome to Sir Lancelot's Real Estate Roundtable, your guide to mastering the realm of real estate in Central East Florida. I am Sir Lancelot Leonard, ready to uncover the secrets of seller strategies, home staging, mortgage mastery, and more. From Daytona Beach to Cocoa Beach, Lake County to St. Augustine, join me as we navigate the intricacies of real estate. As the leader of the Sir Lancelot Group at Florida Homes Realty and Mortgage, I'm here to arm you with knowledge and innovation, whether you're a seasoned homeowner or a first-time buyer, unveiling the kingdom of real estate, one roundtable at a time. Today on the Real Estate Roundtable, we're joined by a true visionary in the world of South Florida real estate. With over 30 years of hands-on experience and a track record that includes more than 500 million in properties purchased, managed, and sold, Cedric Charles Teboul is the driving force behind Dream LLC. Following in the footsteps of his grandfather, Cedric has turned his experience into a beacon of family offices, investment funds, and private investors. He's here to share his journey, insights into one of the most dynamic real estate markets in the US, and what's next for him and his company. Let's dive into the mind of a real estate powerhouse. Cedric, welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me, Lancelot. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Cedric, you built an incredible career following in your grandfather's footsteps. Can you take us back to the beginning? What was it growing up? What was it kind of, what was the inspiration behind this whole thing? And what motivated you to carve out your own path in real estate?
Yes. I think the main inspiration behind me being in real estate is really my grandfather. I remember being in the south of France and my grandfather talking about real estate in the United States, how different it was. And it was a dream for him to come here. And he actually made it here and came and started building communities, residential communities, which got me to understand a lot more about real estate development. At the time, he was building by Cocoa Beach and Vero Beach in Florida. So I got to learn everything about Florida. Obviously, Miami was not 20, 30 years ago what it is today, but it was very interesting to see the dynamics at the time and walking through the streets and seeing already at the time the Latin vibe that Miami was offering compared to the other cities. And that really got me excited to come to America. And that was like a dream of mine to be here. So as soon as I could hop on a plane by myself and make it, I moved here. I was 16 and moved here.
You were 16. Wow.
Yes.
Been,
16 and a half.
A bit, wasn't it? So that is amazing. We just chatted a little bit before we started the recording here. And you told me about somewhat of your past, about being stock trader, etc. Can you elaborate on that for us a little bit? Because I mean, everything comes down to where you come from to where you are. And I think that, the past is really important of every person that's as successful as you are. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I grew up kind of between France and coming here in Miami, and saw my grandfather go through some very good times and also some very tough time. He lived through Hurricane Andrew and some other up and downs in Florida. And I knew real estate was a tough market. I knew Florida was even a tougher market because there were a lot of ups and downs. And at first coming here, I got the opportunity to go study at Boston University. So I took this opportunity and studied finance and thought I was going to be a trader my whole life and work with big banks in New York. And I did do it for a while. I worked on Wall Street for a big company named Refco, who did a lot of Forex exchanges, and lived that life to be on the floor with 200 traders and really work hard to buy and sell commodities. But I also started seeing what was going on in Florida, and everybody in New York in 2003, 2004 started talking about Florida. Like there was a huge future there.
Is it just a little bit? Is it like the Wolf of Wall Street to work over there in the stock exchange? Anything like it.
I gotta tell you, actually, it was kind of the Wolf of Wall Street. My company, Refco, the CEO, I think, stole about 300 million. And
Wow.
one day from the other, I was like the youngest guy on the floor. I think I was 22, 23 at the time. And the FBI showed up and said, like, listen, we need to interview everybody. And at that time, I was like, wow, I don't know if I like corporate America anymore, especially if you fall in
Scary.
those things. It was very scary. That kind of made me wake up and see what was going on elsewhere. And I saw friends of mine in South Florida making fortunes in real estate. At the time, real estate was an easy business. And in 2004, like I told you before, it was
Yeah.
amazing to see lines down condominium, brand new buildings just to buy condos. So that got me excited and that got me to move here and start my career in real estate.
So that, founding the Dream LLC must have come with a share of its challenges. What were some of the
Yes.
biggest hurdles you faced when starting out, and how did you overcome them?
So to be fair, Dream started really in the biggest crisis of real estate we ever faced. Um, I, I started as a real estate agent, and then the market completely crashed in 2006, 2007. And most of my friends, I would say 90% of my friends that were in real estate decided to leave and go do something else. And I had just come down from New York and left my career in finance to do real estate. And I was like, there's no way I'm leaving this behind. So let's figure out a way to make this work. And Dream was really the solution that I found to help investors buy real estate without any of the worries. And I'll explain. Dream was really the assistance and management that we offered to our investors at the beginning. We sold them 5, 10 condos in building that were very poorly managed, brand new condos, but that there was no management in it. And we literally took over those units, finished them for each owner, doing flooring, making sure that the tenants would be happy to move in and put all the tenants in there. And we, within a year and a half, sold about 400 units. And and really got to a point where we needed management, property management, and this is what Dream started as a property management company.
But that's a really good way to scale a real estate business, I guess.
I had to find a solution.
Hey, exactly. You're out of the box thinking. I'm pretty sure about that. It's like, oh, the market's crashing. What are we gonna do? Oh my God, let's do Dream. And then it's like one thing after the other. I'm pretty sure it played out in your head. I was like, God, this is an awesome property management for my investors that will buy properties from me that we will renovate for them and then rent it out for them and manage it for them. And then when they come to, liquidate, we'll liquidate and 1031 into the next one for them. Correct? Something like that.
Yeah, so we did that a lot. We bought a lot from developers at first, so we built very strong relationship with real estate developers down here in Florida because a lot of those guys were upside down or just needed to get rid of the last 20 or 30 condos to pay off their loan. So we were those guys. We were the guys asking for 20, 30 condos, and we had a few big investors that would help us lock the deals. And then we would go out there and we traveled throughout Europe selling condos,
That is
telling
awesome.
them, yeah, it
Must have been
was
a fun
challenging,
time.
but
Like summer in
challenging, but very fun,
Ibiza,
very fun.
and selling condos in Barcelona and Germany or wherever you were. I mean, I'm pretty
Yes,
sure
yes. Yeah, and
Berlin.
if you don't hear, I
Paris.
have the French accent, so France was also one of the places we went to. France, Belgium, Switzerland, a lot of those places.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I love it. I love it. I mean, did you like pre the contacts that you sold to in Europe? Were you like
Mhm.
family friends or how do you build like oh, I'm from Hungary, from Budapest. Okay, so I know people from Hungary, but I don't think they can. Not a lot of them can afford condos that they
Yes.
sell in Miami. But I know France is a little better off. Belgium, of course, Switzerland as well. But how do you build relationships for condo sales in a foreign country?
No, so very fast we realized that our contacts weren't going to be the guys buying the 10, 20 condos either. And we ended up going to trade shows and doing a lot of conferences where beforehand we would email maybe 10,000 people and telling them we're showing up and doing an event in Paris that day. And that's really how we got people to come and sign up for our events and show up.
That is
And
awesome.
we built fantastic relationships through that those times, yes, that we still work with today. So we're lucky in that sense.
It's a definite way of scaling your business. That's for sure. Like, how do you think out of the box? Let's fly to Europe. Let's do big conferences, 10,000 people, invite. I know RSVP, probably
Yeah,
10% or 5% show up of an
correct,
RSVP. But
correct.
even though, 10,000 emails, if 500 show up, that's a pretty good show up. And then you do
Mhm.
10% of that, that's 50 condos sold right there.
Yeah, it had to be a volume game because we
Yeah.
knew there was ton of inventory. But to give you an idea, like I think in 2007, the newspaper were telling the market that we had about 10 to 12,000 condos to sell. It would take approximately 10 years to absorb. It took Miami 2 years to absorb,
Yeah.
and all the condos were sold out.
Wow.
So I think that's the luck we have here in South Florida is the absorption rate because the whole world is buying here is incredible, and we were able to sell very fast.
I mean, you got the European influx in Miami, you got the Brazilian, you got the
Hmm.
other South American countries, Colombia, Venezuela, et cetera, et cetera. I lived in Miami too, so I
You know,
understand where you're coming from. Like, there's a big European community,
yeah,
Sunny Isles, that area. I know that for a fact. I worked at LiQ, by the way, for a little
really.
bit. Yeah, I was a bartender back when I started before I was a full-time real estate agent.
Okay.
And I opened up Steve Spice. I was the head bartender
Oh,
there. I opened up the deck, head bartender
Sea
there.
Spice was fantastic.
Yeah, when it
I loved
opened,
it
I
there.
was there for the
Listen,
first about 11 months.
okay.
And we had one French owner, by the way, back then.
Yes, I
Uh,
know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
actually know. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know Stéphane Depot.
Yeah, I know Stefan very
Yeah,
well. This
yeah.
is incredible. Yeah.
He's a great architect. Yeah. So the Melonade, it's probably still on the menu. That's my drink, by the way,
Okay.
over
Nice.
there. Yeah, yeah. So, and I saw Miami growing back then, and I was like, wow, I need to get into the real estate business. So I got into real estate, started with Keller, learned some stuff, and then jumped over to
Hmm.
Cervera to learn the new development, sales and stuff. But
So
nonetheless,
you work with Cervera over there.
yes, I did. I did.
Nice. The family are great friends and they're good people.
Yeah. I mean, they
I
sell a
worked a
lot of
lot
the,
with them when we bought the bulk condos. They
yeah,
helped me a lot on some of the introductions.
that's great. That's great. We moved up here where we are right now, Port Orange and Daytona Beach area when my wife got
Okay.
pregnant. So
Okay.
we wanted to raise kids in a little bit less fast-paced environment, if I
Yes.
must say that, you know.
Yeah.
Um, let's get back to you though. You've purchased, managed, and sold over 500 million in properties. I don't know what the number is now, but I got 500 from my team,
Yes,
which
it's pretty
is
updated.
yeah, okay, which is a staggering achievement. I mean, it's huge. That's a lot of property. What would you say has been your guiding principle or strategy in growing your portfolio and properties that you manage besides the ones we already talked about? Anything else you could share with us?
Well, I really think the numbers talk better than the rest. I think in this game, if you want to stay in real estate long enough, the numbers have to make sense. And I think coming to South Florida, a lot of people forget about their investment principles and forget about the numbers because the property looks beautiful or because people make them dream about something that will happen in the future in Miami. And I think Miami is even more dangerous than those other cities. The growth is different depending on the neighborhood. You have to understand where you're investing and you have to understand the numbers behind. I think that's the most important. That's what we're very careful about.
That is a great advice. I know the Miami market is insane. I have friends, hey, I Hungarian friends of mine. They're like, "Whoa, why
Mhm.
why don't we invest in Miami?" I said, "Because the numbers don't make any sense. You could get a
Mhm.
10 cap where I am, and you could get a minus 10 cap in Miami in
Mhm.
some condos, let's say that has 15, $1,600 in condo fees plus a mortgage plus this, and you're looking at the numbers and you're like, you're in deficit at the end of the day. You got a cash flow. Otherwise,
Yes,
it doesn't
yes.
make any sense. No.
It's a different type of market. The risk might be higher on a cap rate. The returns are much higher on sales and on growth.
So on
So
growth, so you're looking at more of an annual um, appreciation of the property.
so we balance our investors' portfolio out. Like we have multifamily buildings are stabilizing the portfolio of our clients and bringing a 6-7% cap rate, maybe 8 sometimes if we're lucky in some of the neighborhoods. And then we use waterfront properties and other diversified assets to increase the cap rate to 10, 12%.
Nice. I mean, where you can short-term rent, that helps a lot. I'm sure
Yes,
with the
so
cap rate.
we've done that. We've done some repositioning on multifamilies and small motels that help us a lot. Yeah, Hollywood Beach, by the way, became the capital of Airbnb in the US. A lot of people love to come to South Florida, and Airbnb has been very helpful for some of the multifamilies we have to create more income.
So Cedric, with over 3 decades of experience, I mean, that's, it's already a big number to say out. And then 500 million under the belt. Uh, there's always, trends and shifts in the market. What do you see the future of the real estate market happening in South Florida? Tell me a little bit. What's going to happen over there? What do you see? Bring out your crystal ball.
Well, I don't know if there is a crystal ball, but I'll tell you my insights because I grew up in a market that was very similar. The south of France experienced what we're experiencing now in Miami, maybe 20 years ago when Russians and Italian and people we had no idea where such big investors came to the south of France and started investing. What's happening in Miami is very impressive because you get people from Turkey, people from the Arabic Emirates investing in South Florida. And that was never the case. So we have more money coming here. South America has always been here, but now they're even more intensely investing here in South Florida. So you get a lot of the communities that you didn't have before putting money here. Um, the condo market is going to be always a tough market to invest in because you have a lot of fees, like you said. Insurance cost is always going to go up, especially after what just happened with Hurricane Helen. I think a lot of those fees will only go up. So you have to have Airbnb and those type of condo association offers help the support of those condo fees, but you have home families that are growing and will keep growing drastically because the whole world wants to have a house on the water here in South Florida. And that will keep growing. It's amazing the numbers. I remember a few years ago we were talking about a house for 20 million and it was the top money that we could get. And now you're talking about houses 100, 150 million, and people are still coming down and buying those homes. Um,
Do you know if that condo sold in the Faena for like, I think it was like almost 100 mil or something like that, the
I
penthouse
know
in
one
Faena.
sold for 49. I don't know if one sold for 100, but I know that Jeff Bezos bought a few homes not too far on Indian Creek,
Yeah.
or close to 100 million each.
Oh, he bought like three
And
properties right next to each other or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, one was 80, the other one was close to 100. And it's not just Miami. If you see
Yeah.
Palm Beach or Boca, or we have the Ritz-Carlton now in Pompano Beach, the Four Seasons in Fort Lauderdale, it's just becoming a place where the lifestyle is incredible. You have to have money to spend,
Definitely.
but it will only go up. The money is going nowhere else than here. And one of the trends I hear more and more is the industry is coming down here. You have a lot of AI company, a lot of biotech companies. Florida is one of the states that's the cheapest for those companies to position themselves and have headquarters. And I think they got the memo. And we're seeing amazing amount of companies coming from California and New York, and that can only be positive. So
That's great for
we're
our
very
state.
lucky.
I
Yeah.
definitely agree with you on that. I mean, we experience somewhat of that. Yeah, we're getting Boeing right now. We have I think the largest Amazon warehouses here in our town now.
Hmm.
So it's a smaller town, but it's still growing.
Oh yeah.
Most world's most famous beach, they say, is Daytona Beach. But
You
the
have beautiful beaches.
birth of NASCAR here. So speed.
Hmm.
I you know what I always, because I know that Miami has a Formula One right now, and I was like, they should have brought it here. I mean, this is the birthplace of speed. It would have been awesome to have a Formula One. It's only 3 hours away from Miami, so
Agreed.
it would have been really cool to like connect it with the race the racetrack and have like something that.
I think the reason they did Miami, and again, it comes back to what I was saying, is you get the same guys from Monaco to come to Miami to go to all those racetracks,
Yeah,
and
true.
um, and at the end, like those are the guys paying big money for seeing cars racing around here, and I'm impressed because it's only been the third year I think that we see the Formula One here, and the price of the tickets have gone up to 20, 50,000 a ticket, and it's you can only do this in Miami or a
Yeah,
big place like California because you need to charge this type of money to the right people.
exactly. I mean, it's just an incredible event, I think.
Yes. Yeah, we got soccer, we got Formula One.
You
I
got
think
Beckham
Florida is
and Messi.
pretty
I mean,
incredible.
you can't go wrong with that combo, you know.
Yes,
Two
yes.
goats in one city, you know, like that's pretty awesome.
That's the incredible part about Miami. Like I was sitting down a few nights ago at a restaurant, and Ken Griffin was behind, and you're like, you realize the type of places that you're in because of all the people you read on the newspaper, all the people you see on TV are hanging out here in South Florida now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I know
it's
that from personal experience working
mhm,
in the service industry. You know, I had David Beckham at my bar. He was
that's
drinking Blue
incredible.
Label. I poured it for him. You know,
Fun.
I had Jay-Z, Beyonce. I had, I don't know, Lindsay Lohan and presidents of different countries. It was just insanity, you know, what went
Yeah.
on back in those days. That was like 10, 11, no, 8, 9 years ago, you know, so it's still going on, you know, and
It's
it's
only
just
getting better.
getting better. Exactly. It's just getting better. So
Yes.
tell me, Cedric, what kind of advice would you give someone that's trying to get into the South Florida real estate market right now as an investor?
Well, so as an investor, I would say first to study the industry you wants to be in, whether it's a multifamily, to kind of really calculate the budget that you have to invest first coming in, um, and taking it easy because you're gonna see the neighborhood change over the next 5 to 10 years. So I wouldn't say just fix on a neighborhood and just invest in that neighborhood. I think diversification over the next few years is going to be what keep people afloat and create a lot of opportunities for the future, the growth of the investment. Um, Most of it, I would say, to invest in land and try to stay consistent on the numbers. Make sure that the numbers that you're looking at are right. Do the right inspection always. This is something that's very important. Uh, for me, having the right team around you is what helps you find the right deals. So secure one or two good brokers are going to help you go around. It's very important, and I think um, what people don't realize is that having someone that understands the market and has experienced the market for many years help you save a lot of money at the end of the day. So I would say that I would say just try to find the people that are already investing in what you want to invest and surround yourself with those people so you can understand what the risks are before you invest yourself.
Thank you. That's great advice, Cedric. And then for you, what's next for your Dream LLC, as in your company? And are there any exciting projects in the works? Anything particular exciting about? You know, I think that you're excited about.
Yes.
Tell me.
So I'm very excited about South Florida in general because you can only see growth into people coming here and wanting to put money on the table to invest. So the last year the interest rates were very high, and now we're seeing the interest rate go down. The more they go down, the more you start seeing people showing up and wanting to put money on the table, which we knew would happen. So for me personally, we've been renovating a lot of properties on the water. And I think the next step is we're starting to look at building our own communities. There is a lot of opportunities to buy land and build single home families for the luxury market. A lot of people that come here want to buy houses that are completely done. This has been always the same market in South Florida. People don't want to do work. It's hard. It's hard. They don't speak necessarily the right language to talk to the workers. So that is something that's a big request for all the buyers that we meet is they want finished home in a good community, and there is a lack of home in Florida and a lack of community. So that's what we're focusing on is securing the land right now to build house communities.
That is awesome. So you're focusing on new development, communities around. I mean, how do you even find space there? I think everything is like already covered. It's the whole city. When I lived there, like I lived down in Edgewater and in Midtown. So
Okay.
33rd and 34th. I lived in the Hamilton and I lived in the Chart House.
That's
Right.
incredible.
It's a beautiful place, you know. And
Yes,
then
yes. This is really where I started my career, just so you understand. So
right there.
the first building we sold was on 25th and Biscayne. I had a partner that had built this building, and it was so incredible to see a 100-unit building just built in Edgewater without any of the other building. He was the first one building this building, and then you see the growth of Edgewater and what he envisioned, and he kind of taught me the business. He passed away 2 years ago, but he was 96, and I really learned from him so much. And this is exactly what you would say. Every time, go look for the next land, the next piece of real estate that you can grow and evolve. And we've always looked for added value and places where we can find our spot and make money on it.
That is awesome. So, as you said, you had a mentor. Going back to that, I'm pretty sure when you have one, you want to be one at a point. You want to start mentoring other people in a way. Do you do that right now with your current investors? Do you do that with other agents in your brokerage, or how? Like mentoring is a big thing now.
I mentor. I mentor all my agents. Actually, I'm a coach for all my agents. I have a small team, but those guys are switched from residential to commercial, and I coach them how to do the transition. And lately, I had a few investors actually asking me to coach them. And I was very impressed because I didn't think they needed any coaching, but we started talking about specific things in taxes, and they wanted to learn more about the 1031 exchange and those type of things. And I started coaching them on how to invest properly their money to save on taxes and be able to put the right expenses. And real estate is a fantastic business because you can always find ways to leverage your money and cover the cost. So it's a great investment for the future, for the future generations as well. And that's what I really help the investors do. So,
Cedric, here's the time for a plug. Do you need new agents? Do you need more investors? Where can anybody reach you? And how can they find out about you?
We always welcome more investors. We're available here in South Florida anytime. We welcome new agents as well. If anybody is interested and works with investors on multifamily buildings, single-home families, we're happy to take them and teach them the way we do it. And for the investors, we can be reached on our website, investwithdream.com, or by phone. I can share my information so that you have everything, and hopefully we go from there.
We'll put it in the description, man. So they can reach you right there. Thank you, Cedric, for coming on the show. This was a pleasure. I'm amazed. I want to have you.
I hope we get to work together soon in Daytona.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, definitely. I'm up for that. I did a 42-unit deal like a year and a half ago. No, 2 years ago. We got it for 3.5. Exactly 1 year later, the same day we sold for 4.85. Just so you know, we did, we went in, we renovated, we showed the numbers. We went from 700 rents to 1,300 rents, and we managed to sell it with a profit. So, in 1 year. So it was tough. We were sweating bullets. I was laying floors, just so you know, just to get stuff done. Yeah. I mean, it's stuff that, you do a lot of things when you're in the business, like
you have to know everything.
Yeah. Thank you, Cedric, again. I want to have you as many times as I can. You always have a lot of knowledge of what's going on, and the market is so changing right now with all the new stuff coming along. Maybe we could do this again in about 6 months or a year, to see where everything stands. Thank you again.
Yeah. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Sir Lancelot's Real Estate Roundtable, where we've unveiled the mysteries of real estate together. Remember, in this kingdom of possibilities, every dream home is just a discussion away. I can help your real estate dreams come true. Just call me at 786-449-7518. Until our next roundtable, may your ventures be prosperous and your homes be filled with love and joy. Farewell, fellow knights of real estate.